All right, we are go. And so, who would like to go first? Like, I guess some of you guys are working on your character sheets still. Does anyone in particular want to go first?
Uh,
Just to introduce your character, playbook, name, and a general idea of who they are.
yeah, I can go.
Excellent.
I'll be playing a pusher named Stein. I haven't came up with a real name for him, but that's what they call themselves.
Sigma 9, was it?
Uh, I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, well, what was your name? Sorry, I didn't catch it. Discord broke up a little bit.
I'm Trotsky, and my character is Messiah 9.
There we go. Messiah 9. Messiah
Yeah.
9. I changed your name of your character sheet for you.
I'm playing the pusher.
Nice.
So Messiah 9 is just kind of an anarchist, pure anarchy.
Yeah. Right, good. So Messiah 9 for sure, good. Like one of the questions I did have for you is like if you are, well, it's going to be a weird question considering you're an anarchist, but like, are you part of an organization? Because usually the pusher will be like part of a cult or a terrorist cell
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, she runs a group of radical I guess the term is rioters.
Uh huh.
It's a small gang, so that's why she's allowed to run it, but yeah. So that's a part of the organ that's the group she's a part of.
Okay, great. So that's like yes, they're like a little group of activists, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right. So anarchy, yeah, and I think they anarchy kind of fits in the sense that they would be against the ruling power, so to speak, which in the sprawl are the corporations. So they are anti-corporation, is basically what
They
you.
are definitely anti-corporate.
Yeah. Right. So that's something we can run with, and it does give us a lot of room. Great. So like, what kind of choices? Let me just pull up the PDF really quick. Small MC sheets. Nope. Midnight. Push it. Good. Coming here.
Really question.
Yeah, cause efficient action. Which is a gang member. Okay, right. So what choices did you make for your sheet is really what I would ask next. So like you start with some nice moves. Choose one or more. Alright, so you start with driven and vision thing. What did you choose to go along with that?
Forgive me.
Bring it home?
I need to find the.
Oh, sure.
Is that? But I had a what there's a move I get that allows me to have a group of people.
Oh, believers, I think, would probably be
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
believers.
Alright, great,
That's what
yeah.
I chose.
Right, so that fits. So that gives us a nice little idea of what your characters kind of rounded out to be. So that's good. What cyberware did you have? Did you choose
The where?
the cyberware? Like what cyberware do you have?
I had encrypted recording device or something like that.
Oh, okay. So that would be like cybercoms.
Yeah, cybercoms. That's what I was meant.
Ah, okay. Great. So we have someone who has advanced communication and a group of followers. Good. So I'll make note of those. All right. So who would like to go next?
I can. I'm still working on a lot, but
If you're still working, I've got almost my
Okay.
whole sheet filled out. If you want to keep
Sure.
working.
sure.
Excellent.
Good.
So,
Okay. So my character is Dodge, and they're the killer.
Killer, nice.
They're sort of Wild West cowboy theme.
That's what my guy is.
Nice.
Oh, yeah?
Kind of.
So do you want me to just keep going, or do you want to go
Yeah.
through?
Oh yeah, you can so like Wild West kind of guy. So what's his personality like? What's he about?
So he is he is a good old boy. He wants to be like returned to the like honorable West,
Oh,
which is of course super garbage, right? Like he's the only person who believes in that.
yeah.
And I can't decide if that should be one of the directives or not.
Well, there's the
Yeah,
full
I think
list
it
of
is.
directives is available to you, so you may find something that suits there.
Well, so one of the directives is proselytizing,
Uh huh.
and so that's describe your belief system when you persuade others to act according to your beliefs, mark experience.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that he could be like, "Let's have a duel," you know,
Excellent.
and nobody takes him up on it, right? They just shoot at him immediately. But he wishes it was, Wild West style. His cyberware is a targeting suite,
Nice.
and the killers come with a custom weapon,
Mhm.
and his custom weapon is Lucille,
Ooh, good.
which is a ridiculous handgun that is automatic and ridiculous payload.
Yeah. I would have guessed
And then-
from the name. I would have guessed a shotgun.
Yeah, well, I like the
Yeah,
gun
but it
on the
does fit
hip,
with the Wild West theme,
visual. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, shotgun is definitely also like
Yeah.
a little better, but I think it's still fun.
All right. Cool.
And then he gets several other weapons.
Yeah, he
and,
does.
And he has body armor, and it looks like an old timey gambler's suit.
Uh-huh.
Except the jacket, when he opens it up, has like these neon lights on the inside that are peeking through, and of course a hat, right? A black
Yeah,
hat for sure.
Of course. Excellent.
And
I
like
that.
the body armor is like built into his pants and stuff, but the vest is like a waistcoat vest with like a little watch chain and stuff.
Nice. I like the neon you put on that. That was a good touch. So proselytizing will be one. Did you decide on another directive?
Yeah, I think the other one will be masochistic, or masochistic is just I guess efficient, but maybe what I should do is pick protective and pick one of the other players to be protective of. I think that'll be more fun than masochistic.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. All right.
Yeah, so
proselytizing.
protective and proselytizing.
Excellent, great. I forgot to ask Netflix. What were your directives?
I had violence. I had violence, and I don't have the other one. I need to get the speed up.
Oh, let me see if I can find it for you and maybe post it anything. So I'll do that. Alright, so Killer, one of the things I like about Killer is that they are a very straightforward, very honest playbook. It's like, you know, what you see is what you get. So they know what they are about.
Yeah, and I also just think that it gives a little more wiggle room
Yeah.
for screw ups. Like, you know, suddenly you're in bad trouble.
Yeah.
It's a little easier to manage.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see if I can screen this thing.
Hello.
Nothing.
Usually I'm more prepared.
Sorry about showing up half an hour late. Thought the game was in like another hour from this.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm fully aware that, you know, these little time zone differences always cause some problems. So don't worry about it. We'll fine tune it as we go along.
It's funny because I wrote down the schedule and I came back. I was like, wait a minute, 6 o'clock? That doesn't seem right. And so I changed it. And yes, it really was 6 o'clock.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Time zone differences always get me because someone's always like, "Oh, it's at this time," and so automatically in my head it clicks to my time zone as just the number for them.
Yeah.
And then when the time comes around, I'm like, "Oh fuck! You meant 3 o'clock, not actually 6 o'clock."
Yeah. So it is weird, but we'll fine tune it as we go along. Cause like it used to be 2 o'clock. Well, my time. Well, anyway, it used to be earlier. But that was for a particular player because that person was in a way different time zone. So we had to kind of fit in the best way we could squeeze in the time frame for it. But this is usually the most comfortable time frame for myself. So it's usually my baseline when I start looking at what times will work.
I think I'm going to go. I have violent and I think rejected.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Are you like a corp dude who's like, no, anarchy rules now, and like that's what you rejected, or?
My whole idea was going to be she wanted to join one of those like, you know, big like organizations, but they were like, you literally advocate for beating people. That's not cool, bro. Like, you can't just scream beat them to death every time they mention a government. So yeah, I think either that or
I mean, is there another group of anarchists, and you're like, we're the real anarchists? Then you could be hierarchic.
oh yeah, I think
Because then it's like, we're way more anti-establishment than you jerks.
I like that. That's fun.
yeah.
We're so anarchist, we're not even a group.
Unite.
There's actually
separately in
4
your
of
homes.
them. There's just 4 of us, and we all meet up in our mom's basement.
Yeah.
Nothing is more counterculture than my mom.
I think proselytizing is going to be the one, and it's going to be just pure anarchy is her belief system.
Okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So like already, so we will have 2 people with proselytizing. So we'll see that it's a team that's trying to demonstrate something to the world to kind of I don't want to say make a change because, you know, in Sprawl it's kind of, people tend to have realistic expectations, but it's like you know, you want to leave a mark and make people take notice of something.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that we have 2 people with proselytizing. So that would be interesting to see. All right, so let's see. So that's Netflix, Carl went. No, Dr. Nick went. Who wants to go next?
How many directors are we supposed to take? 2 or 1?
It's 2 each.
Okay.
Are we allowed to?
From the
'Cause
entire
I know.
list?
Yeah, pick from the entire list.
Yes, you are.
Awesome.
Yeah. The ones on the play sheet are the ones that are usually easier to fit in, but you are specifically allowed to choose any 2 directives. So the pusher has cybercoms, the killer has tactical computer. So that's good.
I'm thinking now.
Uh-huh.
So it's one big list. There's not any separation between the first picture and the second picture. They're all just one list.
Yeah, it's just one long. It was on 2 pages in the PDF, so I had to take 2 screenshots. That's all.
So there's a couple different ones that I'm looking at.
Uh-huh.
Network. When your membership in blank hinders the mission, or protective, I was thinking maybe that could be something like his obligation to his legitimate legal practice, because he does have like an actual office. It's small and it's tiny and it makes almost no money, but it is his.
That's pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one for network.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like that one.
Yeah, I'd also thought about compassionate because the way I envision this character is basically his network sprouted up out of the clients he has. I mean, the government doesn't do a lot nowadays, but people still do get prosecuted in court for crimes, and so you do small time work like, oh, this guy got arrested for parking in the wrong spot. I'm gonna defend him in court. That sort of thing. That's where he came from.
Yeah.
So he has sympathies there.
Yeah.
Prudent. When you resolve a charged situation without violence, mark experience. This is very appealing to me because he is a fast talker. He is someone who wants to make a deal, be an advocate, basically. Style 2 and everything.
Yeah.
I like having one with prudent and one with violent. It's a good idea.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No. Okay.
Somebody always gets experience.
Yeah.
Okay, cut half of his arm off. One arm, just one. I bargain you down from 2.
Listen, can we just make it 1 torture?
There's
You
a
get to
scene in Better Call Saul where basically he bargains down from a murder to a maiming to break one broken leg, not 2, 1. You only need to
One each.
one each.
If you remember which episode that is, just drop a mention of it later on. I'll see if I can find it on Netflix.
It's
or
one of the
something.
first ones. It's very
It's
early.
episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
I do love the naming scheme they have for him because I think it's Uno, Mijo, Taco, or Nacho. And they just go down the line for that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Alright, so we have... the lawyer is which playbook? I think I missed that one.
Oh, I am playing a fixer. I've got
Right.
I've done a lot of my sheet.
Okay, great. So a fixer, good. Do you have, what was the option you chose for your, there's a downtime activity thing?
I mean, I believe hustling is normally the activity, but if I can pick from a different one, I can take a look real quick. I'm not too set on it.
Yeah, it's supposed to, alright, so it gives you a list. Yeah, hustling gives you a list of, things there, and you choose 2 to start.
These are different from actions as moves rather. Moves.
No, they're your special moves. Hustling
Yeah.
is one of the special moves, right?
Yeah.
So I get hustling Yeah,
oh, no.
I
You
get.
don't have a choice. You automatically get
Mhm.
hustling, but hustling
get-
has choices built into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have hustling and I know people built in, and then I can pick one more. From what I chose backup. Basically, the more violently inclined clients that he has. You know, I got your brother out of jail, so come and beat up this guy if he tries to kick my ass.
Yeah. Well, there'll be a
Yeah.
lot of people who owe you favors and who want to repay the favor, especially like if you're a good lawyer. Are you a
Oh.
good lawyer? I should have asked. Like, do you win your cases, or is it a better luck next time kind of thing?
Well, the question of whether he's a good lawyer and whether he wins his cases are two very separate questions. I think he tries really hard and he does his best. Some of these things you can't do a lot with.
Yeah.
He's good in his way. He has a certain basic charisma,
Right.
even if it's a little schmaltzy sometimes.
I think brokering deals would be a nice choice. And maybe technical work. Because I assume you wouldn't. I assume you wouldn't get into like the illegal options on that list.
Sorry. I didn't realize that you just picked two specific
Yeah.
hustles. I thought you just okay. Yeah, I will take a look at that. Brokering deals
Another
definitely
one-
seems like yeah.
Another one that makes a lot of sense is deliveries.
Yeah.
You know, so like since you're a lawyer, you can be the bagman between people who don't want to meet each other in person. So there can be, you know, you can do work as a cutout
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think
or
I'm
surveillance, right? You could get the dirt on people.
yeah,
That
I'm
seems-
debating surveillance because, you know, attorney-client privilege and all that.
By the way, my gang's main gigs are activism and politics, or crime, not politics. They're not actually in politics.
Okay.
Oh, of course. You can't join the political system. You want to abolish the political
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unless a Molotov cocktail through a window counts as an actual political debate. I
It's a
think
vote.
they're
It's a vote.
right.
Yeah, it's a vote. Every
I vote
vote
not
counts.
this.
I hope you own like an assault rifle and you call it the Electoral College.
Ah, that's
They
fun.
used to say the ballot or the bullet, but
Oh,
why do you
yeah.
need two choices?
I've been trying to think of a name for my cyber deck. The Electoral College makes sense. I'm gonna
The
use
reverse
that.
would be the Oval Office.
Ooh, right. This is the
I didn't choose my weapon, so I should probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! Sorry. There should have been a button to mute. There should have been a push to mute option. I would have used that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I have encrypted comm relay, and what is it? A sleek ride, which is a car,
Nice.
and it just has a giant anarchy symbol on it,
Nice.
and a flagship pistol.
I like how my so Fixer is supposed to have a flashy ride.
Yeah.
I don't see him having a flashy ride. He's the guy driving, just driving a modern Camry, but in that, because we're so far in the future, it's like
Yeah.
60 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, that sounds
Oh,
good. Yeah,
wow.
like, cause like flashy can be. Like,
Oh, no.
You know how
not flashy in a good way.
it's well, what's the word I'm looking for? Archetypical. So like every lawyer always drives a Lincoln, that kind of thing. So it'll be a car that from the moment they see that car, they know, well, that has to be a lawyer.
I think my pistol is just called the cookbook.
Ooh. The cookbook, nice one.
That sounds like the name for like a accountant turned runner. He's the cookbook.
Cookbook.
Unfortunately, they didn't give you the option of Molotov cocktail, so I can't be a true anarchist.
I feel like the Molotov is implied.
Yeah.
The Molotov is implied, yeah.
An implied Molotov. I like that. Yeah,
You didn't
just
say
got served.
you didn't say you're gonna throw a Molotov through my window. It's implied.
Like the warning is that you give them a bottle of pop. So it's like it's an implied Molotov. Like next time there'll be fuel and a burning rag in that bottle.
I don't actually know
Backup protection.
how cars work. I need to go look at the shit for cars because I get a car.
Yeah. So let me see. Fixer. I think the Fixer's car doesn't have a full profile, does it? Equipment, gear. Choose one weapon, choose two. Flashy ride. Yeah, okay. So,
It's a flashy car.
yeah, a flashy car. Right, so you wouldn't have to worry about
flashy.
the driver's profile for it. At least not yet. That's like one of the things you can earn later on when you upgrade it.
Oh, give it the profile for the drivers.
Yeah. So for now it'll just be like a car, and so you wouldn't have to worry about stats for it as such.
Oh god, I need to look up famous anarchists.
Yeah.
Bakunin?
Alright, so we have a Fixer, Pusher.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. What are you saying?
Alright, yeah, so we have a Pusher, a Killer, and Fixer we just did. So I think that's pretty much. So
We've
these
got-
the people who would constitute your gang, so to speak, for the Fixer. Like you would have normal. You call them when you need them, or do you have like a certain, or do they operate out of your office, or do you have like a second secret office that you operate out of, or something like that?
I mean, I don't think he'd do it in his legitimate front-facing office.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
You would probably have like an office somewhere, or like a back room of someone you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in cities like these, abandoned warehouses are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
So, one of us was going to play a hacker, right?
Yeah, I believe that's the
Yeah, I
next
am.
person up.
Yeah. Do you have like I don't know. Do you have like your mom's basement or hacker cave?
I have I have a microtronics workstation that I would think has to be somewhere, but I haven't worked that out yet. I think maybe I have I don't know what the world is like, but I kind of figured like a trailer, but probably more like, God, I don't even know. Something.
Ice cream truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe something like that. Like a burnt out ice cream truck in an alley.
So,
I love
yeah.
this.
So yeah, you would definitely have a something, a trailer or something. But the microtronics workstation, we can say that I usually think of that as being about the size of a briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
So you can.
Okay.
It is mobile, so
Okay.
it doesn't have to be nailed down.
Yeah, I don't see him like running. You know.
Yeah, it's
Running
not
the
something you keep with you. No.
Oh no, I was saying I don't see him like having the hub for the group. I think we might just kind of call one another up or
Yeah.
have like a meeting place where we.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. You guys don't have like a secret base or anything. But in terms of the fixer does have ongoing activities, like specifically with your special move, which is hustling. Right. So for hustling, these are things that are constantly ongoing. So usually the fixer will have some sort of either they operate out of their apartment or they have some hidden office or something, because these are constant activities that you monitor and direct and manage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of that grows out of his his conversations with clients. Like, oh yeah, you're telling me about this problem you have. I know a guy who's in that line of work.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So I imagine, he's running sort of deals out of his.
Having it be a loose network of like former clients and like
Yeah.
people you have leverage on or whatever, that makes a lot of sense with the brokering deals that you chose earlier anyway, right? So you're just.
I think both because I'm brokering deals gets me cred. I want to get something that gets intel. Delivery seems like too direct, so I think surveillance, just like knowing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So brokering deals and then surveillance.
Excellent. So it's just like you said, attorney-client privilege and your research contacts and so on. So you would have a good option for surveillance there.
Oh god, I need the stat layout. I need to go look for the stat.
Oh, for which playbook?
For pusher. I need to go look for.
Oh, I think it's
I think
it's
it's
standard, right?
it's always 21100 minus 1, right?
Yeah.
For all
Yeah.
of them.
I
The
need to
pusher
go.
says the pusher recommends that you put your style and edge to be +2 and +1 respectively. They recommend that because that's usually the ones that you use the most. But again, as he says, you can assign them anywhere you want.
Yeah, I'm just looking at what my move.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at the hacker, and you can tell me a little bit about your setup.
His name is. He goes by Whiskey Jack. He is unlike the cowboy angle that I forgot his name had. Dodge.
Dodge.
He's actually just a straight up redneck. Kind of like a genius savant redneck with a laptop hacking into corpse, stealing money. Anyway, I went with the directives. Financial and and rejected. So my idea was that he was a member. He was a member of this huge anti-corp, anti-establishment group. Hacking into corps, trying to take him down, and bring back some semblance of, I don't know, whatever his far extremist ideologies are, but ended up just taking a bribe and being thrown out taking bribes from the corp, getting his group taken down and being thrown out and rejected by the hacker community.
Would this group, by any chance, be the same anarchist group that our pusher is angry with?
It could be.
That would be a great idea.
I think it's fine.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I don't know how tightly networked it is, so it's possible and that they don't even know each other, or maybe they do.
What?
Knowing each other wouldn't be a problem, I think. I don't think so.
I think it would make things more interesting.
It would make things more interesting because there'll always be these this little snide kind of begrudging.
Gosh, you used to work for those guys?
Yeah.
With the Molotovs, everything was much more organized than it is over here.
So let's. Does this group have a name? Let's name them. I think.
Molotov?
Molotov. Molotov sounds good, actually. I'll have to make a note of that somewhere. They won't start
I've
with a
called my
clock.
group
It needs to be since it's the like one that is the the competing one. It has to be super pretentious, right? Like the hipster version of Molotov's directive.
My
Hipster
group is
anarchists?
actually
Yes.
called the Molotov.
What about-
gang? My gang is the Molotov activism.
Okay, so
Occupy Molotov.
Oh, that's-
during the French Revolution, all of like the French liberal intellectuals, they would meet at cafes and salons. So maybe the cafe or the salon.
oh, that's even more terrible. I love it.
Yeah.
The Molotov
And
Coffee
everybody
House.
snickers at, but no, it's the name for.
The Molotov Coffee House Collective.
It's really meaningful and the anarchist historical. They have to be really
anarchists,
defensive of
but
their
they
name
actually run a cafe.
or a salon.
Yeah, like as a like a meeting place to foment and pretend go undercover and to kind of finance some of
Cyber
that stuff as
cafe.
well.
You
Yeah.
get a sweet mohawk.
Merlotov is the best.
If they were a brewery, we could say that they're not just fomenting revolution; they're fermenting revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like one of those hipster microbrewery things.
Oh, hipster anarchist, wonderful.
I never would have thought to connect to make that Venn diagram, hipsters and anarchists. That's awesome.
Anybody within Messiah's group just realizes that Messiah is fucking crazy.
Oh,
I think-
yeah.
I think everyone who talks to Messiah for like more than 5 minutes realizes that Messiah is crazy.
But there has to be something motivating about it, right? Because he has a whole group of people who are like, yeah, this guy, he knows what's
Because
going on.
It's not just because in between her rants about how we need to crack skulls, she starts going on these long-winded, passionate speeches that is just her screaming about like actually important issues.
Yeah.
Wait, is she like a punk rock star and has groupies that are just like, yeah, she's the best.
Just
Her music
headbanging
is so
during
different.
it. It's provocative. It gets
Her
people
group-
going.
It would definitely. It feels like that kind of a thing where they're really following Messiah 9 and not the philosophy itself.
I think her group just sees her as like the only one who's actually doing anything, despite the fact she's not.
Yeah. She's probably the bravest of the set.
So, I mean, I think you can answer this really easily. Like, does your group keep doing the stuff that they're doing if Messiah is not there? Or do they fall apart?
I think they all believe that violence is like the thing, but they wouldn't be as much of a danger, I guess you could say. They're not as violent without her.
She's the person who throws the first rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice way to describe that.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent. So for the hacker, tell me about your cyber deck. Yes. All right. Well,
I'm
tell
sorry,
me
say
about- Yeah. Tell me about your cyber deck.
I'm just getting to that point on my sheet, so I'm not.
Oh,
quite
okay.
there yet.
All right. Yeah, no problem. But what kind of hacker do you see yourself being? Are you in it just for the money, or is it for fame? Do you have particular targets that you kind of gravitate to?
I think he likes to think of himself as being this big, this idealistic revolutionary. But in the end, he's just lying to himself and is just in it for the money. He'll do anything to get a payday.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Targeting. I don't know that I don't really know that he has any particular favorite victims.
Yeah.
I
I was just wondering, like, if he had like a grudge against anyone or anything like that.
Did you feel
Well,
any animosity towards the hipster anarchist he got kicked out of?
I would. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I was thinking that, but I don't know how heavy into the PvP it makes sense to go if that's the angle the group's going.
I mean, Messiah is part of a different group. Like, from what I understand, Messiah hates the hipster anarchist too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can see that. Then.
Hipster anarchists. We all hate them, right? I mean, I think that we can all get behind that.
Yeah.
So we're a bunch of hipster anarchists that hate the other hipster anarchist group.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the best.
Yeah.
Then I can see that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So what's the name
Yeah,
of the
fuck
other
them.
group?
My group or the hipsters?
Just remind me of the two names. Which is which?
My group is the Molotov activism.
Right. Good. And so what's the other group?
Mm-hmm.
Who suggested the salon? I kind of like the salon.
and yeah, salon is just kind of another word for like cafe or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody gets it though.
Yeah.
That's the point. You can't get it, right?
Yeah.
The espresso revolution.
Oh, that's pretty good too, though.
All right. Excellent.
Espresso revolution,
That almost feels too self-aware.
Yeah.
which is perfect, the perfect amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause they're the worst.
Just almost.
Oh.
So I could see him then being going from fringe group to fringe group as like a hacking agent for hire, and all he does is go into other fringe groups that should be allies, steals their information, maybe even steals some of their assets, and just ultimately, friendly fire. All these
it's a
all these
niche
people should
market.
be allies, and then they end up just screwing each other over instead of going after the big dogs that they hate.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Because of like the most trivial disagreements. Like they all agree on the big issues, but then something small like,
Yeah.
well, Saturdays should be, a day off. No, we think Thursday should be a day off. No. That
Yeah, that kind of
Every day should be a day off.
yeah.
That's the point.
Awesome. All right, great. So yeah, so I think that's like what I was, because hackers can kind of configure themselves differently. So for instance, if you wanted to be a hacker who was more focused on just money, then like for instance, you would choose one of your programs would be Sift to help you search for pay data. And so it kind of, depending on what hacker you decide to be, that kind of helps your choices. So eventually you'll figure out what configuration you end up going with.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I gotta find that part.
Yeah. So let's see. Like
Programs.
Yeah, fuck those hipsters, man.
And where do you usually operate out of?
I think the burnt out ice cream truck in the back alley.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. You did mention that. My mistake. Nice.
So is this a world where the hacker can just sit in their truck, or do they have to
Yeah, it is.
physically be places to do stuff?
No, the hacker is this world is fully wireless and that sort of thing. So the hacker can stay in a location and do his hacking from there, which is why the armored fridge often comes in as a viable choice. Because if you had to actually go and tap a data wire or something, then the armored fridge is useless. But in a wireless world, armored fridge is a thing. So what happened with the hacker is that you guys will be on foot going into the building, but the hacker will also be there with you in spirit, so to speak, because he'll be in the matrix. He'll be at his ice cream truck back on the other side of the city, but his mind is there in the building with you, and his mind can take the same kind of risk and damage just as well as you guys. The only difference is that his body is not physically there. That's the only difference. But we will roleplay it as though he's actually with you.
So wait, he's not physically there. Is there something physically there, or is he just like in our ears?
He'll be in your ears, and he'll be in the building's systems.
Oh. Okay.
And so this is usual for hackers, and this is usually how I run hackers. The dangers you guys will be facing will be like if security guards open fire on you. The dangers he will be facing will be when ice finds him and does damage to him, which armor does not help with.
Right.
So you guys are going to be technically in the same place and facing danger the same way, just to the same level, sorry, just in different ways. Think of it as being accompanied by a ghost, then.
I don't like ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't believe in them, but I don't like them.
Yeah. So like as when we do the first session and as we start seeing some matrix runs and so on, you guys will see how I do it. It does not. We don't have to stop and focus on the hacker and wait till he's done. Everything happens simultaneously as though he's there with you.
Yeah, I've heard that described before as the Decker problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem in Cyberpunk 2020 as well. You end up with like 40 minutes of you end up with 2 different games going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Nobody can play together.
Yeah, but it that's something that always amused me because it's not a problem that has to take place. You just have to kind of deal with it. Oh god, sorry. Motorcycle.
From what I thought, there was some sort of large animal, but no.
Rhino.
Okay.
Bear.
The black helicopters are coming for you. Brooks found you.
All right, cool. So yeah. So like if you guys go into a building, you guys will assemble on the perimeter, and the hacker will do his login move. So that's you guys arriving at the place. Then you guys will take the first, you'll enter the grounds, and he'll do a move to disable the cameras and so on. You guys will take the door, check for guards. You guys will be operating together and speaking to each other, that kind of thing. Don't consider it as him being separate in a separate place doing a separate thing. You guys will be acting and coordinating together. So that's how we're gonna handle it, and that's why hackers don't have to have that Decker problem. It just you just approach it in a geographical sense that they're focusing on this part of the building with the locks and cameras and so on here. Yeah.
So is there still a partition between the like we're going up against like corporate security guards? They're shooting at us. He's not going up against the corp security guards. You can't shoot air, but
like what he will be doing is that he will be, for instance, if you guys are in a firefight, he'll find a way out for you guys. So he can do a lot of help or interfere. So he can lock off doors, automatic doors. He can seal them off and buy you guys some time. That kind of, that's what he will be doing in action sense.
And how is he put in danger? Because we're getting shot at. Is it like separate off digital threats and physical threats, or do we
the software called ICE physically harms him? Like he actually marks harm on his sheet. So just by not being physically there, that does not mean he's safe.
I'm pretty sure he's injured by our sarcastic remarks about.
That's true. It's
not being
emotional, but it's injury nonetheless.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
my brain!
He can get injured physically from
I'm
the
just
software.
teasing.
And he has a
But
risk that you guys don't have, which is that
Sure.
the software also identifies where his physical body is and sends death squads for him.
Okay.
And
Oh,
you guys
cool.
can
threats
help
are
him.
the threats are the threats that we're facing are on a different track, but we're working together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Well, it also gives a reason for him to be close by, so that the other players can help or hinder or whatever. Because if he's just like in his fridge in an apartment across town, then if they send a team, like you
Yeah.
immediately lose your hacker if they have like
Yeah.
a couple of bad rolls. So having them, some physical nearness makes it where
I
it all
agree
sounds
with
good
that.
to me. We can work with it.
Yeah. That all that will come into the planning stage. So for instance, when you guys see what the mission is, one of the decisions you guys will make is how close the hacker has to be. Whether the hacker can be somewhere safe or whether the hacker should position himself a certain way. That sort of thing. So all of that
So
goes into
dark
team
mode.
planning. It's
Cool.
pretty much the exact same way you would go about planning how to use a sniper.
Okay, that's a
Sure.
good analogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
All right, so we'll get to experiment with that in the missions. I'll try to figure out really good ways to demonstrate that. So you guys will have a lot of fun with that if I do my job correctly. So I think the next thing we'll do is the next phase is the corporations. So everyone puts forward a corporation and gives us like an idea of what their field, their sphere of influence is, that kind of thing. What their market share is how I think it's phrased. So who would like to go first with that? Who wants to name Corporation 1?
I'll go.
Okay, cool.
So it's Sentinel information. Wait. Sentinel logistics and information.
Sentinel. I'm putting it on roll 20s. Right? Good, so tell us a little bit about that. Let me change this.
Mostly a lot of the stuff that I kind of brainstormed in Discord, which is that they are a logistics company. They work on, so they don't make stuff. They make sure that it's in the right place at the right time, right? So
Yeah.
if there's a shipping container that has to leave and be delivered at a certain time, so they move other people's stuff around. They also do data security, so you have these giant files that you can't actually send over the airwaves because they're so dense that it would take days and days. So it's actually faster just to download it into a person or a briefcase and send it. And so they manage and protect those deliveries and secure data at secure sites.
Alright, so let's see. Data couriering.
Mm-hmm. And I also had this idea to add to them that they do sort of Uber for like runs, or so if you need guns, right? Because this is the corporate future,
Yeah.
right? You get out your phone, you're like, I could really use an assault rifle, and it just falls out of the air, or if you say, I could use some backup or a hacker for this. You can be matched with, Elite Skills 2727. He has 2 stars, but he's available in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so they're basically, they do a lot of surveillance, and related to that, they do blackmail, and also the AI angle. So the way that they're so good at planning to have, what you want, where you want, when you need it, is that they have predictive software and AI that are sort of monitoring people, and so that's the general concept.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't stick ad block on that shit.
No. They definitely invented the ad block that is watching you while it's blocking the ads. Yeah, it's Inception, And I also like the thing that we had discussed, which is like they have this AI, and allegedly the corporation is in charge of the AI, but who knows, right? Maybe they have all these robots that are falling from the sky in like little bricks and unfolding themselves and delivering boxes and then walking off. Like, did a person? No person organized any of that. They didn't design the algorithm or anything. So
Yeah.
they have supervisors, which are humans, but a lot of it is just like these. I'm imagining like really junky, bare bones, like skeleton type robots that just like carry boxes around, and sometimes they have a machine pistol in there too.
Nice. All right, great. That works. That works with what I imagined, and that's really nice. Sentinel logistical information. That's for Dodge, right?
Yeah, for Dodge.
All right, and Dodge is the killer. E. Good. So that's Corporation 1. Let's look at Corporation 2. Who wants to go next?
I guess I can. I have an idea.
Great. Yeah.
So I have Rhino Riot Suppression and Protection Organization.
Rhino, Riot Suppression, and Protection. And this is for Messiah
Trotsky.
9, is it?
Messiah 9.
Right.
So they're they're a big kind of organization that deals in a lot of for hire police, I guess you'd say. And primarily they're used because they specialize in suppressing riots and protests, and so it works almost like ordering a pizza in like the strange way that the cyberpunk does, in that you call them up and it's like, hi, I would like to place a delivery for a small squadron of suppression officers, and you pay and you get this, after a short delay you have a bunch of officers dressed in full riot gear with like tear gas grenades and shit on them, and they're used like heavily by like corporations that really are cruel to their like employees, because they're always getting protests, and so they have to put them down.
So is this a cyberpunk? Yeah. So is it a cyberpunk future that is more? So it's way less like, oh, worker drones, like the opiate of the people, and more like, no, the people are like pissed off all the time. Like there are all these like, not youth gangs, but the equivalent of like, you can join these gangs. We're gonna go riot, and we're gonna tell Rhino what we think about their suppression. So it's not like the sort of
I think it's a
drone type
combination.
thing.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. It's somewhere in the middle between those two. In that
Yeah,
they're
I
not
like that.
fully So the people are not fully, their spirit is not fully broken. There's still some pockets of unrest. So it's not quite worker drone as yet, but it has been steadily going that way for a number of years and getting worse and worse. But at this point, there are still pockets and cafes and salons and that kind of thing.
Rhino are big, and they kind of just specialize in like the heaviest like protection, and they're kind of expensive, but they're really easy to like get, because it's not like you have to go through all this paperwork. It's just, I'd like to place an order for a small squadron of suppression officers, and maybe a unit of just cannon fodder, essentially.
Yeah. Rapid response units. I'm gonna save the changes here.
So the idea is like, if you're a store, like if you're the noodle shop, you could just get one dude.
Yeah,
like, if you wanted. So you can scale it like to whatever, like any kind of security you need, they can do. But
they tout that. What? Sorry. No job too big, no job too small.
Yeah, as long as it's not like, I'd like to order, I don't know, 27 exactly, and all of them are carrying assault rifles.
You
can't
you
just-
guys remember the from the Simpsons movie? It's like he wants 10 really tall guys, and then he wants some short guys to make the tall guys look tall.
It's like when Domino's lets you build your own pizza.
Yeah,
I like that.
In a reasonable scale, you can make it proportionate.
All right, excellent. So this is good. On the on-ramp suppression, site security, rapid response units. No, there were some
And-
other scripters in there.
I imagine that the home base is just called the Rhino, and it's this massive place where you just have like all of the officers. Shit.
Nice. Let me add that in. Home base.
Do they call the individual like people rhinos?
No.
So I just imagine they name every single thing. We have 12 rhinos and the Rhino APC coming out of the Rhino.
I like that though.
I mean, maybe
they
no,
could probably
maybe
call them
like-
like RCs.
I
Rhinoceros.
What?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like obviously, you don't want that. That's fine. But what if the colloquial term is a stampede for which they
Oh,
come
yeah.
in?
Yeah.
So you can be like, I would like a stampede of suppression officers and be, you know,
And
Yeah.
Rioter shouts out, "Stampede's coming,"
Yeah.
and they all die.
I like that. That's a really nice theme for me to work with.
I mean, they're probably wearing like really like bright gray armor, a light gray armor, and they're all fucking beefy.
Yeah.
Rhino's coming.
Oh yeah. Oh, they would have a sick logo.
They have the sickest logo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. So who wants to go next? Let's do Corporation 3.
I've got this is the big evil law firm. Oh
Right.
gosh, where the yes. McElroy, Hitchcock, and Sarkisian. They there are basically two branches of what they do in a lot of areas. Originally it was McElroy and Hitchcock in the sort of western based, and then Sarkisian, which was in a different area of the world. They merged together. There's basically two branches. There's normal public-facing stuff. They're like Wells Fargo, like, you know, help draft articles of incorporation for tiny companies, help your grandmother out with her will, that sort of thing. It's big and it's stable, but it's not really prestigious. And then they've got the corporate work. And the niche that McElroy, Hitchcock, and Sarkisian has, obviously governments aren't really don't really have a lot of enforcement power these days.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for, like, you know, big companies, you know, the AAA megacorps to crush basically anyone. Like, oh yeah, no, we can infringe upon your patents. We can invade your little corporate headquarters, all that. So what McElroy, Hitchcock, and Sarkisian have done is they've got a network of smaller corporations, AA, single A corporations, that they basically act as the lawyer and broker between them. Like, if you want to draft a peace treaty, you call them. If you want to protect your copyright so none of the other companies in their sphere steal it, you go to them. And occasionally they do services like basically legal mercenary work of,
Yeah.
you want to fuck somebody up, just spam them with as many lawsuits as possible from every direction.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
predatory
here's
law.
a spontaneous class action lawsuit in one countries that has that.
Yeah. Key predatory.
But they're
Those
the
guys.
brokers.
I know those guys. I've firebombed them at least once.
Oh yeah. I mean, they have insurance on all that. They insure
Yeah.
that out. Yeah.
Of course.
Oh boy, we lost the office chair for the third time this week, guys. Oh well, we can hire
It's just like-
more paralegals.
What is the name of your character, Nems? I forgot to ask.
It's on my character sheet. Will Schaefer. His nickname within the because he can't use his real name, so he uses Slick.
Slick. Okay,
Just kind of.
Will Schaefer Slick.
I need to figure out a real name for Messiah 9, and I'm tempted to make it something very generic.
I suppose.
Steven.
Yeah, Slick.
It's just like, hi, this is Lucy, aka Messiah 9.
Oh yeah. So okay, let me see if I can do that. First of all, it's whoops, cancel. Right, so copy, edit. That's capital.
Her name is Ava Johnson.
Slick. CHEFR. And you are the fixer.
But just everybody calls her Messiah 9.
Alright, so that's fixer Messiah 9. I need to add Lucy. What did you say it was?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Messiah 9. What was the civilian name?
To her real name?
Yeah.
Ava Johnson. It's very generic, but like,
Yeah.
she doesn't really tell most people, like, yeah, my real name's just Ava.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
It
How many-
probably won't make much of a difference in the sense of like you guys will decide like how these people know you as when you talk to someone, that kind of thing. So I don't usually make much of a distinction, but I do know that it adds to the character to have your call signs and your names and so on.
Yeah. I just thought it was like a dumb idea that I had to do.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Give this person with some really intense name just a really generic real name.
Oh, your name is Forrest.
Oh, I have an idea for how Will knows Messiah. He was her public defender. Like a drunk, yeah, for like a small thing, like like if you get hit for something, you get the bullet. But like drunk and disorderly or something, he comes in and he's.
So I was also thinking of something like that. Like I think that is a very natural. So like you always have to
It
answer
works
the
for
question
everyone.
like, why are these randos working together, right?
Yeah.
And I think the answer can be that at least nominally we're part of the small group, the fixer group.
Mhm.
And that's really, I think, a natural way to be like, oh, how would you, why would you meet these people? And the answer is, oh, like he was my lawyer.
Yeah.
He was my lawyer. I didn't have money. He said I had to do him a favor.
Blackmailing attorney.
We'll consider it pro bono.
Like, well, how it usually works in the Sprawl is that you guys don't have to be in the same group, and you guys don't even have to be like friends exactly. Like, what it's usually like is that you guys are all professionals, operatives. So it's kind of like how it used to be in Mission Impossible, where depending on the mission, they would call in different operatives with different skills, whichever operatives have the skills for this mission. So you guys work together sometimes. Other times you work on your own. Other times you work with other groups. But you
Yeah,
are all kind of skilled people. that
Yeah,
know
I don't
each
think
other.
you're. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think you're like part of the crew in the same way that like some of these, like I have as a move.
Sure.
Yeah, you're like people I've been in contact with. Like you're playing a killer, right?
Yeah, well, so I'm imagining something like I got into, so part of it is like, oh, where did you get your cyberware from? And I was thinking that Dodge would be someone who had been doing the like, Uber backup, like he was a 2-star, I'll watch your back during this shady deal, and he got into a bad contract with Sentinel for his targeting suite, and Nims got it reduced to Nims. Slick got it reduced to something manageable instead of being a lifetime. I mean, he's a lifetime slave also, but less obviously. So he has a little more freedom than your regular lifetime corporate drone.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Okay. Only half a pound of flesh every month, okay?
Well, I was thinking like a natural thing is like, oh, you're going to see someone who is terrible. Like backup is good, right? Or just a bag man. It's like, here, you are disposable. Carry this over there.
Yeah. I imagine the guy, his group of clients. A lot of them were like small time gang members, so I could absolutely see, like you probably did some work as like the bag man for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't be a part of the law firm. That kind of, wouldn't work very well.
I mean, it's a private practice. He used to work with MHS, but he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go it alone. But I really like this cyberware you gave me, so I'll just stay on a payment plan for the next 30 years.
Yeah, just put it on my tab.
I mean,
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it costs at least a little bit to tear it out of you, so they probably have they've got a plan for like if you leave. Yeah, sure, fine. Just so long we don't have to pay the $50 to the auto doc to rip it out of you.
Yeah. So like but for that one, the choice you made was that you screwed someone over to get it, right?
For me?
Yeah.
No. So I'm choosing owned, and I think the story
right.
is that Slick negotiated the contract for me.
All right. Great. Good.
And so that's why I, might do favors for him or feel like I owe him. And I think that might be a nice link too for the protective.
Yeah.
I could be like, this guy did me a solid, which also fits over into the proselytizing piece of bad guys with principles.
Yeah. Anytime we play and you guys see an opportunity to bring one of your directives into play, always be quick to let me know. So like if something comes up and Slick is in danger and you just let me know. Well, you wanna bring your directive into play and try to protect them, and that's going to be awesome. So just remind me, because sometimes I'll forget, because between 4 of you will be like 8 directives I'll have to keep my eye on. So
Sure.
Yeah. Whiskey Jack, you are the hacker, right?
Yeah.
That is one of the most dangerous looking hackers I have ever seen. That's why I had to wait to make sure.
I might change that still, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fine because that can be. But like my hacker is like a sickly teen who like in the real world he's crap. He's not even well coordinated. But in the Matrix he's a god. That kind of thing.
Well, I have -1 meat and a body tag of flabby, so I picture this guy being a chunk of meat. I'm having trouble finding a good portrait for that, but I'm working on it.
Stupid people want to look good on the internet.
Yeah.
When you first found that ice cream van.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason why it's a burnt out husk now. Alright. right, Whiskey Jack, your corporation is up next, I believe.
So I was thinking. Anyway, I called it Boulder Dash Analytics, and I spelled boulder like the stone.
Oh, okay.
So good.
The point, the reason for that being that they're a very old company. I'm not sure what year it's supposed to be or where it were even set, but it's a very old company from Boulder, Colorado, where they are still stationed, but or their headquarters is. But they are a medical and just sort of scientific anatomy research facility, and they were pretty. Historically, they were pretty legitimate, but as time went on, they became more. As time went on, and they had more and more breakthroughs. They have developed a new corporate agenda where they have been producing everything from theoretical cloning technology to manipulation of gene pools, and they're sort of a kind of status, or not status. They're sort of a run-of-the-mill evil corporation bent on world domination at this point through just genetic manipulation and controlling the masses through long-term modification of opinions through surgery and not surgery. Anyway, something of that nature. I hadn't thought of anything before just now.
Maybe they're working on like social control.
Yeah, that's kind of the angle I was going with, but I'm not sure how they get it out there.
No,
and the other thing I thought is
that it would be really easy for them to get it out there, because remember, in this world, everyone is jacked in. Every single person has cyberware somewhere, and everyone is, in the matrix. Not to the level of the hacker, but everybody uses websites, that kind of thing, virtual sites and that kind of thing. So, it would basically be the same thing that Facebook has been accused of doing.
Right, and exactly like that. I was thinking that it isn't even something that isn't known.
Yeah.
It's something that's almost exposed and people know about, and it's. It's like, oh, well, Facebook is stealing your data, but what are you going to do? Not use Facebook? People are aware that this big company, they have some kind of product. So, maybe it's cyberware
social
itself.
media or like.
No, I don't think it's social media.
Yeah.
I think it's like just the most basic quality of life cyberware or something of that nature that they have produced or have some part in, and even though people know that they are being manipulated and controlled, and they're like, well, what are we going to do? Just not get this product? We have to have this product. I mean,
is it like
no,
AR or something like that?
No, emotion manipulation is a thing. Like you can pay, like one of the things people can do in this world is you can buy SIM chips that give you sensations. So have a SIM chip that makes you experience the adrenaline rush of a bungee jump or paragliding or something. So manipulating in both emotionally as well as media wise is going to be a thing. So that can definitely fit. All of that can fit in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you posted the year as 2348.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gaming all, but I think by that point we're talking about like moon colonies, because
there would be off-world colonies and so on. At this point, because like even in Total Recall there were Mars colonies, that kind of thing. So it's that kind of world.
Okay, I was just thinking along the lines of the distance from like that's 300 years in the future, like. From here, 300 years back, we're talking about like the American Revolution. Not even before that, really, because that was almost 1800.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just really super far ahead.
Social media. There's because we do have to remember there's this like what was it, Moore's law? So it's like things don't increase at the same rate. They have an accelerating rate of progress. So
Mhm.
yeah, by this point it's like a totally different world. It would be.
Okay, so it's like it's gone backwards to some extent. Like there's only so far we can expand right now.
There is the reason why you would have a lot of old world things in the sprawl is because you guys live in the part of the sprawl that is forgotten or ignored. When I say part, I don't mean geographical part. I mean socio-economical part of the sprawl that has been jettisoned, so to speak. The rich people and corporations, they are living the high life. They are living where 2348 is supposed to be, and everyone else is several generations back from where.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay? Really getting into character there.
yeah. Now I want to join this anarchist cafe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we don't need any of this anarcho-primitivism, right? Let's
Yeah.
go back, Stone Age.
Yeah. So it's like there's because in one of the things about cyberpunk in general is that there is virtually no middle class. You are either a high-ranking official in the corporation or you are dirt. So high class and low class, and there's virtually no middle class.
Yep.
And the lower
Either-
class things are, they are using hand-me-down technology, they're using salvaged technology a lot of the time. The corporations still kind of do business by proxy with these people. It's mostly just to extract whatever wealth they still have and whatever usefulness they still have.
Mm-hmm. You're either a pizza guy or Space Jesus.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah. Manipulation, control. Right.
So we're in Amsterdam, right?
Oh, I think we can probably discuss that now. Where you guys want it to be. Bear in mind, I have very limited ability to localize the sprawl. So, like, if we say it's in Amsterdam, I don't know what Amsterdam is like. So I wouldn't know much of how to put the sprawl in Amsterdam. But to throw out some ideas, where do you guys want this to be?
I mean, Will strikes me as a very American type of lawyer.
Yeah.
Also, we have 2 cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we mentioned Boulder, Colorado.
So this would be like yeah.
Maybe it's a Southwest sprawl because I was also
Yeah.
that's kind of fun, like
Yeah.
Mexicali type.
Yeah. Like, I mean, nation states don't mean anything anymore, but maybe Tijuana and that sort of area,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
like on the border,
Yeah.
the old border.
Yeah, exactly.
We could do El Paso if we want to get Texan, but
Like they annexed Mexico early on in the Reformation, and
I believe it is known as Annexico.
Yeah. So that whole region is just that it is just like the Southwest, and as you said, like a lot of the borders have broken down because the political divisions don't really matter that much anymore. Like who cares? Like nobody's paying attention to state government anymore.
You guys, we could be in Las Vegas.
Yeah. The home of neon. So we could definitely do a kind of a desert type frontier style landscape that they built a sprawl on.
I guess the question is whether we want to be coastal or sort of inland, because I mean, looking at Google Maps right now,
Uh-huh.
Los Angeles, San Diego, Tijuana, it's all kind of just one big sprawl already. So I
Yeah.
imagine it's basically that way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we want to go for like the big city, or want to maybe go to Phoenix or.
Well, the idea though is that basically all the empty space between those places has disappeared, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It's been 300 years. Like,
Yeah,
there's just
so
vast
so
amounts.
it's all like Monster LA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but like, I mean, we could make it more like Monster Mexico City instead, like a little dirtier and like,
Yeah.
you know, smoggy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of, just looking, a lot of the growth would probably be in the sort of the San Francisco LA Valley. That seems like really just ripe for expansion.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we have the valley, we have the some mountain ranges around, and there'll be a coast. There's no limitation to say we can't have a coastline in any city, I guess.
Yeah.
Those wonderful Iowa beaches. Brought to you by Texas.
Hey, there can be a corporation that does that. Like Boulder Dash can probably. Oh, my corporation, Russell Hague Mining Corp, could probably have done something like that if we did it somewhere inland, like Iowa or something. Russell Hague, they strip mine this huge location down almost to the core, and then just fill it with water and make it some kind of a real estate. To where they have
Call it the lake.
marine.
We're
Yeah.
going to the lake.
Yeah.
Or the quarry or something like that.
Yeah. So it's like there's fewer limitations than you would think. My corporation is so they mine and refine, and in particular they are responsible for supplying the rare metals, because as advanced as you get, you still need things like zinc and tungsten and mercury and platinum for contacts and high-end electronics, that kind of thing. So they do whatever they have to do to squeeze the last drops of that from you to keep building these cybernetics and cyberware and electronics. So that's what they'll do.
So, I mean, maybe they build the coastline, right? If they're working underwater and they just push the dirt back to,
Yeah.
forget global, who cares if the surfs rise, because you just keep building more coast with all the mining.
Yeah.
I had heard about sand mining, where I forget what they use it for, but like coastal sand has a very specific sort of thing
Yeah.
that is used for industry, and they just strip out like tons of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That has a lot of uses. They use it in cutting. Like I know they can use it in hydraulic cutters, where it's not a piece of metal, it's a stream of high intensity pressured water with sand particles in it, and that cuts through metal like you wouldn't believe. Like, you can check out the videos on YouTube. It's technology they have now, that they use right now, and it's amazingly fast.
Yeah, they cut marble with that. They carve like gravestones and stuff
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with their presence around here. A lot of coastline in California.
Yeah. Yeah, so all that will come into play. We'll see if you guys come across any of their particularly controversial activities. Alright, so we have our corporations, that's excellent. And the last thing we do is we do links. So how this will work is, who wants to go first?
These are
I'm not even sure what links are.
Right, so
Yeah,
I'll walk the first person through, and then you guys will see how it works. So who wants to give it a try first of all?
So I already pitched one sort of just randomly, but so I could be trying to avoid paying back for some lost merchandise with Sentinel Logistics, and
So
you always mandatorily have to have one person that's with you, right?
Yeah, mandatorily, yes.
Yeah. So if I say Slick is the other person,
Yeah.
and he helped me to negotiate my way out of that. So I had to give up the merchandise, but they didn't kill me. And so he would take a link on me.
Yeah, exactly. So how it works is for each person, you describe a mission that you were involved in that was against one of these corporations.
Okay.
And every other person of the team who wants to be involved in that mission, who wants to say, well, they were involved in that mission, they get a link on you.
Right. And one person has to be involved, and then the other
Yeah.
people
Can
can
choose.
say, oh, I was there too, and I did this.
Yeah. So far we have 2 people involved in Sentinel logistics.
Okay.
So that
And it's a tick, right? So doing the mission gets a tick, and then every other person who adds themselves on is another tick. Isn't that right?
so you start the clock by choosing Sentinel. You started the clock, so the clock would be at 0, and then by the lawyer getting involved, the clock would tick up to 15.
Oh yeah, I thought it was the first tick is just the first one. But
It
it's
starts
for
at 0, so it's always one less tick. So in other words, you don't.
Oh right. So for me picking it,
Yeah.
he gets the link, and that was one alert. And then
Yeah,
if someone
correct.
else decides they want to be involved, then it's another alert per
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
So is there a net benefit to these links then?
The links
What's this?
allow you to roll. You roll plus links to help someone. So if you have a link on Dodge,
Ah.
yeah, if you have a link on Dodge and you want to help Dodge do something, you roll plus links. So links with Dodge, you have 1 link, you roll plus 1. If you have 2 links, you roll plus 2, etc., etc.
Okay. What could my hacker be doing to help the killer?
So I mean, well, I think the job we were talking about is almost a negotiation job to try and get this poor guy's contract down. So I imagine doing some behind the scenes work, getting some
Leverage.
blackmail info
Yeah.
for whoever we were talking to.
I have a question. If links are sort of like a help action, am I, by not being present, am I really able to use them much? Would they be
So-
a part of my hacking?
No, you
So
would
think about-
you would actually be doing a lot of help because, for instance, when you the same actions that I mentioned, where you can probably lock off a security door so that the security can't get to them, or you try to find a way out for them. So they have to escape the building. You have to now use the cameras and so on to kind of help them
Right.
dive out of the gunfire. From your position, you have a bird's eye view. So when they start to do something on the ground, if their roll and their roll isn't as good as it should be, you can say you're helping them by
With
using
Link.
your bird's eye view to kind your bird's eye view and your control over the building to assist in their action. So for instance, you can, if they're trying to sneak in, you can create a distraction somewhere else in the building.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you get to add whatever your links are. So if you had 2 on me, then you
Mhm.
could add +2 to that roll. And so if you
Oh,
get a 7 or better, then you can give me a point
Yeah.
toward that roll. But you have to be careful, because if we all just say we're involved in all the missions,
Right.
then we're going to have full clocks across the way. So
Yeah.
like it's just a balance of, the value of having a link on someone versus
Sure.
the cost of having that. Similarly, we could all do missions against the same company, but then it would have a lot of ticks.
Yeah, a lot of ticks. They would be gunning for you guys. The clocks are a representation of how much heat is on you guys.
Yeah.
So
And you don't have to have a link to help.
Yeah.
It just gives you a bonus to do
yeah,
it.
exactly. So that's how you weigh it. Whether you want a link or whether you want the clocks to stay low.
So can somebody describe really fast what the job was with the Sentinel one more time?
So I was stealing something for them, and from them, right? So it was I guess it was a smash and grab, and Slick. So and I got caught, and Slick helped me to negotiate a settlement. So you could have helped with setup. You could have opened the door that had the case, or
Yeah, I think I'll link to that one. Yeah, I think just straightforward. I brought me on as a net runner, whatever. Yeah, Overwatch on the open the door, whatever. Hack the system while you grab shit.
Right, excellent. So on your sheet, make sure and put in that you have a link on Dodge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does the killer have not the killer? Was the pusher involved as well? Yeah, Messiah?
Don't feel obligated to join in. By the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted. That's all.
Yeah.
What was the question?
If you were involved in the mission against in Dodge's mission against Sentinel.
Unlikely.
Yeah, probably not.
Actually, unless it was like some sort of act of like trying to destroy something, or it wasn't really like her thing.
No, it was just a bungled theft.
Then
Yeah, alright, cool. So that is Dodge's mission. So the next person would be, let's do the lawyer, because it's supposed to be in a certain order. So for the fixer, what was your mission against?
Pass real quick. I'll think about it.
Okay, alright, yeah, no problem. Either the hacker or the pusher.
Are we supposed to pick any?
Any.
Or are the okay?
So to pick the mandatory person, I mean, I don't know if it looks the same on all of your screens, but so the Nimoy icon is to the left of mine, so it could be that the person on the left of your picture is your mandatory.
Yeah.
And then we could just move along to the leftward.
Yeah.
Skipping the MC.
Yeah.
So I guess my mandatory is with Trotsky.
Yeah, with Messiah 9.
All right.
And then Whiskey's would be Whiskey's mandatory.
Yeah.
And Messiah's mandatory would be Whiskey.
I'm always thinking, so does it have to be like my quote unquote my job?
It just has to be a job you're on, as far as I understand.
Okay, yeah. So my thinking is, we threw around the idea of public defender for drunkenness, or I think something to do with a riot and Rhino
Right.
with Messiah 9.
Nice.
An actual rhino?
They bring that in on very special occasions.
look, there is a possible chance at one point we attempted to release a rhino from the local zoo to attack Rhino.
Well, I think in Cyberpunk, there aren't many animals left.
Well, I mean, from the zoo.
Like, meat is a scarcity. There's not much wildlife, that kind of thing. Sure, we could probably have a zoo.
Yeah, it's a prestige thing.
It
Oh,
was
I
also
know.
Rhino has a rhino in their private
you stole it.
office.
It will be a zoo inside one of the arcologies, because the arcologies have those kind of things. The arcologies are like they're like bubbles in not like a physical bubble, but you know what I mean. It's like they're separated from the sprawl. and split off from the sprawl. And inside of the arcology, it's climate controlled. There's everything's green and bright and safe, and it's only for corporate people only. And normal people aren't allowed in there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so Rhino has a corporate office in one of these arcologies, and as a prestige thing, they have a Rhino in a thing. And I mean, what better point can you make than dosing up a Rhino with fucking steroids and sending it running into the corp?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but most likely what happened is that Messiah got into a riot that was over her head, and someone called in Rhino.
Yeah.
And your character fits in.
Both of those things can happen though, right? Because those are just separate, and then you just have to attach the person to your left, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's mostly just to figure out who has links with who. So we gloss over a lot of the details of the mission itself, as long as it makes sense and there's some kind of logic to it. So
if Slick is there, then I went as backup.
Nice. All right, so that will take it to 2. Was the hacker involved in this one?
Are links 2i?
I don't think so.
No. So I don't have a link on Dodge. He has a link on me. I just have
so this would give me a link on you.
Yeah.
And you have a link on me now.
Who is me?
Dodge.
Okay, so whose mission is this? First of all, this is Slick's mission.
Getting the Rhino out is definitely Messiah. It feels like more of a Messiah thing.
Yeah, it's very much Messiah thing.
All right.
Well, Messiah has to be involved because the person on your left must be there.
Right. Yeah.
But you can imagine whatever mission that involved them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The fact that it was a riot was also probably her fault.
The only thing I wanted to check was that if it's Slick who is choosing the mission, then that means Slick is the one who everyone gets links on. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means Messiah 9 will get a link on Slick as well as Dodge.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Good. So that takes us to who's the other person? Who's next? We have 2 more to choose links to choose missions. Sorry.
I think that my my job was a cybernetic, or not cybernetic, a net terrorist attack on your corp, Rasselhawk, whatever.
Yeah.
I was with my old group of ideologues.
Yeah.
The idea was that we were going to bombard their net systems and try to take down their operation. Their digital operation.
Yeah.
As ineffectual as it would have been in the long term. And
what did they call it? A DDoS attack?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And then, as it was going on, I was found out, or just before it happened, I was found out, and I was offered a bribe to turn all my guys in, and I took it.
Woo!
Woo! Ooh.
It's okay. They were.
So I think I have to be in on this. So I helped him get away.
Right. Good.
What Slick did was he helped him. He was the middleman for the bribe.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
So choose size. So that takes it up to 2. So Russell Haig.
MC is so happy the alert is already at 2 for his. Oh, my baby's at 2.
Yeah. A lot of the time the MC's corporation is just like, nobody wants to play with us. Alright. So let's see, that was 3 of you. Was the pusher involved in this one?
I think he said he was the middleman.
Was it when they were the?
No, Slick said he was.
They were a member of the Espresso Revolution.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, there's the espresso revolution I turned in.
Oh
This is the
yeah.
breaking point.
What?
I'm just teasing.
Yeah. All right. So that takes us to who's last? The pusher has to choose a job now. Yeah, Messiah.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mission.
Yeah.
So much like everything else with Messiah,
Uh huh.
it was very much likely that it was her attempting to start conflict with some corporation or maybe straight up like policing the very little police force that is,
Yeah.
and got herself into over her head. So something to do with that.
All right. So you can choose any corporation for that to be against. Which one you think would fit most?
We already have a lot with Rhino.
I mean,
You can choose it if you want.
we can double up, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
You know what? Rhino is probably the one that she probably doesn't like the most.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna have to be Rhino. They really don't like us.
So in this case, the caucus started already. So him choosing Rhino will tick it up one, and then the person to his left is involved as well, so that ticks it up again.
Oh God, we're in danger. Oh God, I'm very
The
sorry.
color says it all.
The good news is that a campaign never starts with high clocks. It always starts with lower clocks. So you guys won't see the effects of these ticks as yet.
All right.
Yeah.
And what was the job that you did against them?
So what I did was, they probably called in, some were called in on like a suppression run of some small protest, and probably a peaceful one, to be honest. And Messiah comes in and fucks it all up by attacking the suppression units.
Damn, Nick, you are good with logos.
So that's
There's a bunch of little
probably
apps
the-
that make it really easy to do them. It's fun.
Oh, what do you use for it? I know Canva exists, but
Yeah. So I use what's it called? It's a newer one.
nice.
Spark Post from Adobe.
Adobe, the real evil mega corporation.
Well, to pay them back for their evil, I always crop their little watermark out.
Yeah. Adobe is one of those corporations that, because they're not in the public eye, they can do so much more damage. They are in the public eye, but what I mean is, like, people kind of forget about them.
Discord's being fucky.
Oh yeah, it does. Well, we're almost at the end, really, basically. So, I'm glad it held on enough for us to complete the ticks. Does anyone else want in on this last job?
I feel like I feel like Slick is like is like called at the very end to like be the public defender for the trial. Like, well, my client didn't really mean to. When she said "fuck you, copper," what she really meant was. I mean, who among us hasn't wanted to bash someone's skull in? At least one.
Meanwhile, Messiah 9 is muzzled.
Oh.
See, when my client threw that brick at the officer, she didn't really mean it.
I think I forgot to
It's
put
not
one of
her
these.
fault. I like it.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right.
Also,
So
dangerously high. Rhino.
Rhino will be gunning for you, but they won't know where you are as yet. So the significance of the clock is well, as I said, is the heat. But when it reaches, so for instance, Sentinel Logistics and Russell Haig, they both are aware that someone is screwing with them. They realize that these things that have been going wrong, they're not just random chance. They are kind of getting wise to the fact that someone is screwing to them. And that's as far as they've gotten. When the clock reaches 2100, at that point, they have identified you. So they know that you are the ones who are causing trouble for them. And they have like, your names and pictures, that kind of thing. But they don't know where you are as yet. When the clock reaches midnight and that final tick goes up, they know where you are. And I have a lot of freedom in what I can do. I can have them bust into your apartment and start firing or something. I mean, MCs will usually be really, really creative and really evil in how they do this. So it'll be something like, I don't know, they kidnap your girlfriend, they blow up your car, they hire you for a mission, make everything look pretty normal, except that it turns out to be like a real suicide mission. Something like that. It's not nice to be out at midnight in the Sprawl. But as it is, they don't know where you guys are as yet. And that clock doesn't go up easily. That clock, some specific things have to happen to make that clock go up. So at this moment, you guys are, you're in the woods, but it's not bad as yet.
Does the clock ever go down?
Yeah, there are
yes.
things that you can do to take the clock down. Specifically, the fact that you guys have a hacker with you, you have a lot of options in terms of, you can try to wipe the data they have on you. You can pay them off. There is an option where you spend some creds, and lie low for a while, and the clocks go down. All of the
Did you
clocks go
say?
down.
I'm sorry. Did you say that? Is it possible to be at midnight at start?
It is, but it's not advised really. It can. You can. I mean, I wouldn't. Even if it were at midnight, it's bad form to do midnight level stuff in the first session. That's just like being cruel. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, you would get to the bad stuff a lot quicker than usual.
Are there ways to get links later?
Yes. At the end of every session, you get to give someone a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I joined 2 jobs. I joined one with Whiskey Jack, and I joined one with Messiah 9. So I should have links for them.
Yeah, correct.
Are links? Are they a finite resource?
No, they're not a finite resource.
Okay. I guess in a long-term game that you would have tons of links after a while, right?
Well, yeah, that represents like a crew like really getting in sync with one another.
There's something that happens when you get 4 links on someone.
After a while, though, right?
How does that balance out?
When you get 4 links on someone, something happens. I think you
die.
You get something. Something beneficial happens. You and the person that you have 4 links on, you guys get to do a special scene together, and there's some other benefits as well. It's in the PDF. I'll reference it in a second.
Okay.
Links.
I'm really debating being the guy that hacked into the rhino cage and opened the door for it to get out.
Which is something
Do you want more?
Look, so the tricky thing is that like things that activate consequences, which can even be, success, partial successes, are cases where once the clock starts getting higher, you could just be faffing about and then like, oh, and here's a whole rhino like death squad.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that.
Cool to do the high level like stuff like right away, but that's also why you have to like think about managing the clocks.
Yeah.
The guy you're
managed-
buying noodles
we
from is
managed them
actually
like
an
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, because it takes away all the restrictions on me. So, for instance, in the Sprawl, when something bad happens, like when you miss a roll, one of the things I can do is advance a clock. And it doesn't seem like that is anything major, you know, it doesn't seem like that's a big problem. Oh, the clock goes up and nothing else really seems to change. But when the clock reaches midnight, that's where the trade-off is. I don't have any restrictions in what I can do to you, really. You know, it's like
Sure.
whatever I can think of. So, it's a delayed reaction, but it's a more serious reaction.
Okay.
This is a bit of the page that explains it. You get to do a scene with someone, and you both mark experience, and the links reset to 0.
Mm,
Oh, they mark experience, I think.
Oh, so it sort of ticks up.
Both of you mark experience, right?
After the
Oh
scene, they
no,
mark
no, it's the
experience.
one with the link marks experience.
Yeah. Yeah, so it kind of just like cycles. It goes 1 to 4 and then back down to 0 and on and on.
I feel bad for Slick having to defend some like rioter who straight up purposely attacked a bunch of suppression units.
The judges must really be tired of seeing Slick, you know?
You know, he tries his best. He brings in a little donut to the judge's desk and everything.
Yeah.
This man probably has to drink himself to sleep after this.
But it does also add to his power, because the amount of times that Slick has to end up in front of these people, after a while, he would make a lot of friends in a lot of different places, high and low.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, but it's just funny to think like,
Yeah.
well, you see, when my client said "fuck you, copper," I threw that brick at the officer.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just like,
also think about it. Like, it's not like you're going before corporate courts. They could have any kind of crazy rule, like right. So states are basically non-existent, or the courts run them. So it's not like you're like going necessarily to a judge,
yeah.
right? You may be just middlemaning for like, you know, between two corps or between a person and a court.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of what McElroy, Hitchcock, and Sarkisian sort of does.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, which is why I used to work for him.
Alright, nice. Alright, so we have our links, and we have our corporations, and we have our characters. So this now is a completed session 0. And it was really cool. I like the characters are nice. I like the corporations you guys came up with. It's a really good base for me to work some nice missions up for you guys and see what you guys do, and to see how I can you know, invite spaces for your directives to come into play and kind of explore the world a little bit. So we're gonna have some fun with it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So any other
where do I-
questions? Yeah.
Where do I mark that I'm owned?
You can mark that. Let me take a look and see. There's a place for it. You can mark
think
in bio and info, I believe.
I think I'm hunted.
Where?
Right. So at the very top, so you're on the character sheet tab. There's another tab called bio and info.
Ah.
So you go to that tab and you click edit.
Just put that in my bio. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I screwed someone over.
Right. So you'll just have to let me know who you screwed over, because they may make an appearance at some point.
So the person is originally my group was a part of a bigger group
Right.
of like people,
Yeah.
and Messiah got really antsy and a lot more extreme and started to, I guess you'd say, outgrow the
Yeah.
group in her own violent way.
Oh yeah.
And as a result, because that group was basically helping supply all of them, she fucked over the person who was giving the cyberware.
Wow. That's amazing.
Ooh.
She's not a great person.
Really?
So like what's the yeah, really, what's the name of the person and the name of the group that you fucked over?
So the group were called, I think I'm gonna call them the disestablishment.
Nice.
The anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Just disestablishment. And they weren't really anarchists as much as they were just anti-corporate. And then, Messiah comes in and she starts preaching, no, all governments are bad. Fuck you. All government officials need to be beaten. And then they were like, that's not good.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm gonna have to update clocks. Tokens. Alright. So I think we're good there. Any other questions? Oh, and make a note of that on the bio, so I'll look up the name later and see if I have to make any notes for it. That kind of thing. What you guys can also do, do you notice that Dodge changed his Roll20 display name to the character? If you guys can do that as well, that'll help.
Oh, I forgot
me
to.
along, yeah.
Did what?
So on Roll20,
Mhm.
the very top right hand side corner, there's a
Mhm.
cog. You click on that, and it gives one of the options there is display name, so you can put the display name as your character name. Right, so we have Dodge, Whiskey Jack, Messiah 9, and Nimoy will be Slick Wills. Nice.
Oh,
That's him. Oh yeah, he looks like so many courtrooms have beaten him down. So like he used to stand up straight, and now he's at this angle. Eventually, he's just gonna be hunched over like a blogger.
oh. I deliberately chose the most sad image of him I could.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And thanks a lot for coming along for session 0. Next week I'll confirm the time ahead of time so that we'll know exactly when the starting moment is, and we'll jump right into. Oh yeah, there it is. It finally works. Yeah, so we'll jump right into session 1.
I had a great time, and I love the characters.
Yeah, the characters are so much fun because like there are characters that you would not have. It's not your first thought when you think Sprawl. You don't think these characters, especially like the cowboy and the lawyer and that sort of thing. So it's like wow. But then you stop and you think, oh yeah, there definitely would be characters like this out here. Like, how
I
would
do
they?
enjoy that we have a cowboy and a
Yeah.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Didn't you say we have? From what I recall, don't we have a fat cowboy behind a desk?
Oh yeah.
Fat
What was it?
redneck.
A flabby something or?
Yes.
Hey, redneck and cowboy are different.
They are different.
Oh man, yeah.
Uh,
Right. So I just need to choose side. Yeah, the clocks were set up wrong, so I'm just fixing that. All right. But you guys.
He's
can-
more like a fat trucker in a hat, in a trucker hat. Fat redneck in a trucker hat with a Confederate flag emblazed on his cyber deck.
300-year-old flag.
Exactly.
This flag got outlawed and then unoutlawed.
And his cyber deck's name is General Lee.
In the,
Oh
That's good.
yeah.
in the amount of time between now and 2300, the South rose again,
And
fell
fell again.
And
And
got
it might
wrecked.
rise again.
the South will rise again for the 4th time. We don't talk about the 3rd Civil War.
Do you know how dedicated you have to be to still believe?
Exactly.
This hat was passed down by my ancestors.
That is awesome.
And they still don't forgive General Sherman.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Long grudge there.
But it is definitely a thing, cause like one thing for sure is sprawls have Asian influences, but sprawls also have a lot of Western influences as well, and also some New Age things.
Oh yeah, it's everything mixed into a
Yeah.
pot.
So I probably would never have gotten around to trying out a Western influence on the sprawl.
Where
Oh,
did
no,
we
I mean,
decide
Dodge
we were?
definitely only eats noodles from that one noodle shop, right?
They're freedom noodles.
Did we decide exactly where we were? I like the idea of like Tijuana or Mexico.
Yeah. That I like that as well, and I think we pretty much decided that it would be that region.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
like Mexicali or something like that.
I feel like Mexicali is a good name for just the sprawl in general.
The Mexicali sprawl.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll change
Yeah.
the name to reflect because that's a good name.
Yeah, it stretches from about Los Angeles down to Tijuana, sort of spreading into Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix is still a little bit away. But yeah, that rough, the rough area. Oh, hey, we do have a little sea, the Salton Sea.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe that's where Rasselhag has some of their mining operations.
Yeah.
I see mining fitting pretty well out
They
there.
send you to the mines. They have
Yeah, send you to the
they have
mines.
indentures. It's like, oh well, you
know, it's
really
fun.
enjoyed that new computer. Now go virtually mine.
And since it's a sprawl, 300 years in the future, city everywhere, I picture these mines being just straight underground with civilization on top of them.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they don't really care anymore for environmental regulations, that
Sure.
kind of thing. So they just put it wherever it needs to be.
Well, and if you have all this mining, you can have like you build high, but then you build down, right? And it's like
Exactly.
oh, like the poor folks, like they have to live in the in the part that already got strip mined. And
Yeah,
it's been
exactly.
built up.
Guys, I really wish Messiah's player was here because I just saw Slab City is like right outside of Salton Sea, and that's one of like the most famous little anarchist communes out in the desert.
That's a great name too.
Oh yeah,
Slab City.
yeah. Slab City, California. Yeah, I'll slap the link into the thing. They've got a. There's the Salvation Mountain, which is this gigantic like art exhibit thing in clay.
Nice.
Yeah, probably all got torn down though.
No, it didn't get torn down, right? It's just giant now.
Oh yeah. Just spread out into the desert.
Back. Right. I made a slight mistake with the icons for the clocks, and that it didn't go all the way to midnight. So I fixed that there.
No, it's okay.
Everything's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that. Super comfortable.
Yeah. For the moment, because I slid it. That's how dire the situation is with Rhino. It's like you guys made me go to the edge where I discovered that I ran out of ticks. That is awesome.
No, but that's fun. Like, there's someone in particular to dodge, right? So we're in kind of trouble, but
Exactly.
but there's a group, and also like a military group, right? A group that like has
That's
some
what I
means
like about it,
to.
because the group makes sense. You know, Messiah 9 has a direct conflict with them, just by, you know, his philosophy and so on. So it's
Mhm.
like complete. That's just a war waiting to happen. So it makes sense that the clock would have risen that high. So I really like it. You guys did this well. This was well laid out. All right, so I'm gonna head off. You guys can
Yeah,
head
yeah,
around
me
and
too.
chat and whatever, and we'll pick up. I'll you know pop in and say hi tomorrow and stuff and so on.
All right, cool. See you
Yeah.
guys next week and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, take it easy.
All right,
See you.
later.